Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from another episode of the ABJ Podcast. I have a special one here for you today. We're doing back-to-back interviews. One right now at 3. Then I'm going to take a little break, little rest job, and then we're jumping back in at 5 o'clock for part 2 for another interview. Not the same person, but maybe the same household. So if you guys want to support the ABJ Podcast, make sure you check out the links below. We have tons and tons of stuff you can check out. I have, of course, the ABJ links where you can follow me on all social media, as well as following the podcast in audio form that you can listen on those long car rides. You can put in ABJ for your sweet ear holes. Also, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you're watching this live on Facebook or Twitter or Twitch, you can find one of those platforms and support it. We are on the quest right now for 1K over on the YouTube side. So come show some love. Already in the chat, Alex Watt in there hanging out. The brains behind High Tension, baby. One of half the brains. I don't know. Maybe Andrew has a little more. Anyway, but so let's get into first little business. Also, links below for my guest. Actually, twice in the links for my guest, because there's a lot of things going on with him that we'll be talking about, as well as if you need something to do this weekend. You can see my guest as well as Adina Steele at the Night of Steel, a benefit show for Adina Steele and Philly Mike Swanson, Saturday, February 11th at the Falcons Nest, 403 Hudson Street, Mayfield, Pennsylvania. Doors at 6, bell time 7:30. Front row, I believe, is sold out. General admission still available. Tons of great matches on this card, and a great way to support a great cause and help these two independent talents out who are on the shelf currently. Then next weekend after that, February 18th, this show is sold out, so you cannot get tickets, but follow them on social media so you can get all that access for the next show. But IWA Jersey, Anarchy Rules. Then the weekend after that will be SSW Zero Gravity at the No Limits Boxing Academy in Rio Grande, New Jersey. And then we have some fun shows in March. Once again, Philly Mike Swanson, Dina Steele for Uncle Massey's 40th birthday bonanza. That's going to be in Throop, Pennsylvania, March 5th. And then the High Tension Spring Break 93. They couldn't get a VJ, so they got a BJ. ABJ hosting your Spring Break 93, Saturday, March 18th, 2003. 23, right by the 2300 arena. So if you want to go check out Icons, you can. And then once you leave Icons for the event, you can walk a couple blocks over to this venue, see some great wrestling. Doors, the bell starts at 4. We'll get you out of there in time that you can walk back a couple blocks and head back to Icons and check out 2 wrestling shows in one day. You can make it the Philly extravaganza. We're calling it the Philly special. It's going to be a great way to enjoy wrestling that day in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So without further ado, let's bring in my guest. He's taking a little sippy there of some C4. Let's bring in the guy. He's the game changer of professional wrestling. No one likes him and he don't care. Philly Mike Swanson. What's going on, my guy?
Yo. Oh yeah, what's up?
I
Look
gave
at
Philly
you.
Mike a mic, and
I was,
he
I
is
was, I
real.
was, yeah, I was just gonna put you over. I was like, listen, guys. Usually you'd be sitting here. I got my AirPods in or something, but this sweet setup I got. Look, I got headphones on. I got this sick mic. This is also thanks to ABJ. Anthony Blackwell Jr. hooked me up with this stuff to do some podcasts, and the first one I'm hitting him with is his own. So
Yeah,
exactly.
he's really
That was
enjoying
part of
hearing
the
himself.
deal.
Yeah,
It's part of the
I
deal.
see.
He's like, you can only have my equipment, but I have to be the first one.
Well, hopefully he joins us soon on those conversations and episodes with me and Brian as well very soon.
Yes, I have a
Um,
lot of free time.
yeah, he's on the shelf a little bit. Well, let's start there. So
Might as
you
well.
tweak your knee at some point. Who knows? At
Yeah.
this long journey, maybe in the
As
course
far
of a
okay.
full year.
As far as I know, it's it happened in the summer of 2018 in a match. Yes, 2018. That was like a different world, right? That was a whole
Yeah.
different world at that time. Um GTS wrestling, where I started. Well, I'm sure we'll get into that. But I was having a match and I decided it was a wonderful, great, like super cool idea to do an apron curb stomp. Cause like at the time my finish was the curb stomp. So I was like, yo, what if I like had him draped over the ropes and like his head and I just like ran, jump up on the apron, curb stomp him and land on the floor. Cool, right? Until I land my left leg decided it wanted to land on the floor, and all that weight is like I was a little bit heavier back then. All that weight decided to crack out, and bam, There goes the left knee. You can see Grim slows it down slow mo. It's clear as day. Like he calls we at the time we were like, oh, you hyperextended it. It's fine. But looking back at it, 4 years ago, basically coming up on five, I definitely tore my goddamn ACL and was just like, let me get like 10 minutes and I'll be good. And we took it like GTS. You can take cuts and breaks in the matches, whatever. And me being a determined little dude who just a year in the business was like, I got this, dude. I gotta make a name for myself. Here we go. So I got back in there. We finished the match. I rewatched the match recently. I blow it out again a second point in the match, and like I just fall down, and Grim's just like, "All right, like you got to stop." And I'm just like, "No, like I got this." And
That's
he's just
probably
like,
the MCL the second time.
Yeah. And he's like, "Why? Why do you?" I'm like, "I got this." And I think I was away for maybe a month or something, maybe 2 months after that. I was just like, all right, like my knees like tripled in size. Let me just wait till it goes down and I'll be all right. I went to the hospital and they gave me an x-ray, but nothing was broken, so nothing came back. I needed the MRI, didn't get the MRI. And yeah, I just kept going.
What
And
kind of
I would
hospital you're like?
say,
You walk in, you're like, I blew my knee out. They're like, let's do an X-ray. You're like, ah.
dude, I don't have insurance. That's the issue. I
Oh,
don't have
yeah, they were
insurance.
just
So
getting you
so
in and
they don't
out.
give a shit about me. They're like, "Listen, dude, like this kid probably won't even be able to pay his bills. So give him whatever. He wants the x-ray, we'll give him the x-ray." Uh so I was like, "I'm fine. Whatever. We'll work through it. I'll buy a knee brace." That's what I see wrestlers do, right? They'll buy a knee brace. It'll be cool. It'll be awesome. I was back. I was killing it until like random matches here and there over the span of 4 years. My knee would blow out, but it was cool. I would get back up, and uh, yeah. Eventually, it just kept on happening, and I'm like, all right, this is not something that's going to heal itself. Let's suck it up. Finally, got insurance like a grown up, so we made that decision, and then went and got the MRI, and the wonderful doctor decided to tell me that I destroyed basically everything you can destroy in your knee. It was a torn ACL, a complete tear, uh, and both meniscus. Like whatever, I don't know. I don't know shit about anything, but
Yeah.
uh, both meniscus and a tore ACL. And he was like, how are you walking? Like, you don't walk around with like a bandage on, like a wrap or anything like that. And I was like, dude, I
You're
do a
like, doc,
lot.
I wrestled yesterday. I got a.
Yeah, as
I was thrown
literally,
off a U. I was thrown off a U-Haul truck yesterday.
yeah, I was like, I mean, my back and shoulder hurt from my match, but the knee's chilling right now. I was like, when it gets cold, it'll suck a little bit more, but right now we're fine. Like, dude, the winters would suck. Like, I'm in my early 20s, and here like a winter time would be coming around. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, this weird, something's wrong.
I'm afraid to go to a doctor to check my joints because I know 100% nothing's torn because like it's almost impossible for me to tear muscles, but all of the cartilage and stuff that like the cushion that goes around my joints, dude, I'm bone on bone just because my disorder just destroyed it.
And that's what I mean. Like I would sit here and moving stuff around on my knee. I'm like, this is not in right. This is not in place. Like
Mhm.
something's wrong here. And like I'm like, all right, let's do the grown up thing and let's get the surgery.
So
And
you found out you had a MCL, ACL, tort, and meniscus destroyed, and the
yeah,
doctor's
whatever.
like,
Yep.
You're said your surgery is scheduled for December. What was it? It was like a
Oh well,
Tuesday.
that was the thing too. When I went to the doctors, I said I will do surgery, but I want to finish up all the bookings. I had like, I think,
You're an animal.
look, I've been wrestling 4 years with this tour ACL. I think I can finish out maybe 16 more shows. Like I got this. Uh, so I was like, I had bookings lined up for the rest of the year. I was like, all right, you know what? New year, new knee. Maybe
There
that's
it
what
is. I like that. I like that.
that's what we'll do. We won't take any 2023 bookings. So like people would hit me up and I'm like, yo, like
That's the new T-shirt.
uh,
2023, feeling like new year, new knee, or new year, new knee.
um, but I'm like, look, I wasn't really being open with the that I was getting surgery yet. I was like, look, but I'm not taking any New Year bookings. Sorry. So I was turning some people down, and it would suck because some like cool things would be lined up and people would want to do, and I'm like, fuck, you know. But so yeah, I had the few bookings lined up, and I said basically we got to setting the surgery date. Here we go. I said, my last booking is December 11th. What do you have after that? And well, no, first I said late December. Late December is what I said. And she's like, we have December or no, I got it mixed up. Their first thing was the week of Thanksgiving. And I was like, no, I was like, I kind of want to finish these things in December. I was like, what do you have in December? And they I was like, after December 11th, is that fine? And they're like, we have the 13th. And I was like, well, that's 2 days after that. That seems like enough time. I was like, wrap up the last match of the year because I'm all about, dedicating, giving my goddamn body to professional wrestling because I'm smart or idiot. I don't know, one or the other.
Passionate.
Um, Yes, that's the word they like to throw out there.
Yeah.
Passionate. That's how we describe the idiots, right? Passionate. We're
What
so
they say in
passionate.
Jackass, if you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough.
We are so passionate. It's such a fun word, like, oh yeah. But we're idiots when it comes down to it. So yeah, they're like, and my buddy says to me, he's like, you idiot. He's like, don't you know 2 days after a match is always when you're the most sore? And I'm like, damn it, you're right. So like
They're gonna give you
going
drugs.
yeah, going in there. But it was cool. It was fine. The last match I felt good, so I didn't mess anything up in that last match. So that's all I
Yeah, if you go back right now and you go check out the latest Smash Master shows, if you go back and check out the latest High Tension shows, you go back and check out the latest Groom's Toy shows, uh, tons of other promotions, SSW. He's working that entire time, pretty much. If it's anywhere between October to December, he's working knowing he has a blown ACL, MCL, and no meniscus, and he's just
yeah.
like, I'm not saying a word to anybody until December.
Yep. Yeah. And that was the thing too. I wanted to it was that deciding factor whether I wanted to announce it ahead of time or kind of like do that last match or like it's a normal match and then be like,
Make it an
hey,
angle.
here's a post, guys, I'm going away for a while, like.
We talked about also possibly making an angle where a wrestler like beats you up and blows your knee out and hit and like attacks your knee with a chair real bad. Like
and
that was talked about as well.
and that was the route we kind of went with. It
Yeah.
was, I let's break the wrestling fourth wall, how we
Well, you
fucking
made the
love
post
doing
saying you were going to get
it.
surgery
it
before you did the
it
angle. So
I I said if I I'm all about storytelling in wrestling. It's my favorite goddamn thing. It's the reason we all love wrestling, right? Um so I wanted to tell a story out of basically nothing. And me and Jay Bougie wrestled once at Sanctuary. It was a match that just was thrown together one night. We had fun with it, but we didn't do much. We kind of kept it easy. But Jay Bougie is one of the superstars of indie wrestling right now, and there's not many superstars in indie wrestling. There's a lot of pro wrestlers, not many superstars. So Uncle Masty, I asked him personally. I said, "Hey, there was different plans set up for that show." I said, "Listen, this is my last show. Do you happen to have Bougie booked for this event?" He says, "Yes." I said, "If there's one thing I ask you, could the match be against Jay Bougie?" And it took a bit, but he said, "You got it."
do you know
The
what the
match.
match Ubuji was supposed to wrestle?
I don't know what Bougie was supposed to have, but I believe
No.
it was supposed to be me and Skylar Kincaid. We were supposed to continue that kendo stick match that still never got to happen. We were just card
You
was
sh-
subject to change.
you shaved your beard for it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Sierra kicks my ass about it all the time. But so we were just going to continue that because that had to get changed, and I was fine with it. But I was thinking bigger picture here. and Jay Bougie's hot. He's killing it everywhere he goes. He's making. You'll give Jay Bougie nothing, he makes it something. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you're supposed to do as a wrestler. Uh, so the match is happening, and come up with this whole idea whether I want to work it after, and oh, here I go, I'm getting surgery. I was hurt in this match. That was the decision. Whether do I Nobody knows I have a torn ACL. Do I want to play it off like Jay Bougie injured my ACL in this match? No. That'd be whatever. People, I wanted to go into the match, announce it, I'm getting the surgery, blah blah blah. And now me and Jay Bougie, we go out there, we have a match. People enjoyed it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was very happy with it. Um, but the post match thing is what I was more like pleased, I guess you can say, and happy with, because it was the exact vision I had in my head. Was I wanted the beat down. I wanted they already won. The spoiler alert, sorry, Jay Bougie beat me. Uh
I
they
think it
already
is up right
won.
now. You could watch the match.
Yeah,
It's
you
on.
can
It's on
watch it on
YouTube. Check out
YouTube.
Smash Master Wrestling.
Check out Smash Master Wrestling. He's uploading all the content right now on the YouTube for free, guys. You can watch his stuff for free. Share it around. There's so many bangers in these shows. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so they're already beating me down. Here comes Bougie with the chair. Face, that piece of shit, decks the shit out of my girl. It was chaos. The referees are in the ring. They don't know what to do. The goddamn ring bell is ringing. People that you never like. ABJ himself walks up ringside like
I
Jay
was the ring bell.
Bougie ripped my pants off. Like it was everything I kind of wanted out of it.
Yeah.
And it was because I look at it this way. I'm going out. I'm out. The doctor tells me 9 months. I look at that 9 months to a year. I'm out. I'm not doing any of that less come back early, injure myself again bullshit. Taking the time. Uh I'm out 9 months. If I'm going out, I need to elevate somebody else. I need to help get somebody else. Somebody who's already killing it, Jay Bougie, can deserve. I hate the word deserve in wrestling because wrestling owes us nothing. You don't deserve anything. You got to work for it. Yada yada yada. All that shit. Um, but Jay Bougie was somebody I saw that like needed that and could take that, and it was perfect for me. It was everything that I wanted out of it. And Jay Bougie is now the biggest piece of shit in Smash Master Wrestling, and that is exactly what I want it to happen, basically. Like, because
Yeah.
why? What? It makes sense. Look at Uncle Masty.
And
Uncle Masty's bringing a nice, wholesome product to the 570, and here comes Jay Bougie screwing shit up, bringing his crew in, doing whatever the fuck he wants.
they did have a cream pie match.
Dude, that's what I mean. Listen, hear me. All right, here's the plug. Here's the real plug. All right, in March 5th, Uncle Massy's birthday show. There's a pin the tail on the donkey match. Now this is every show Uncle Massey
Scrambler,
features
right?
some sort of scrambler. Yes,
Yeah.
there's always a scrambler featured on the show. This time got a little bit of a twist to it. Pin the tail on the donkey match, or I believe that's exactly what it's called. I don't know. I might be getting the
It's
wording
along
wrong.
those lines. Yeah.
But here's the thing. This match features some of the best talent in the area that like people don't understand what they're in store for. You got Tommy Vex. Who, hold on. I messed up. I said best talent. It includes Tommy Vex, and then you get to the good talent. Daniel Alexander, who's literally the next big deal.
The
Like
kiddie pool cream pie was wholesome as fuck. Pin the tail on the scrambler.
Pin the tail on the scrambler. That's right. There we go. All right. So you got Daniel Alexander who's killing it. Everywhere he goes, banger, banger, banger. You got Vinny Lee Glamrock, who personally I only found out about a few months ago, but is one of my all-time favorite people now to see at shows. He's awesome. Like
He's a
if
sweetheart.
if you have the opportunity, if you are a wrestler and you share a locker room with Vinny Lee Glamrock, talk to this dude. Just have a discussion with him, dude. You will learn so much more than you realize. It's awesome.
I'm
So
happy for
then,
bringing him into the fold, and that's someone we're seeing more often at our shows.
Hell yeah. You got
Yeah.
AJ Evers, that dude who's somehow, some way pulling out every goddamn win in the scrambler. It's
Scrambler
insane.
God.
He has not lost one. Every single scrambler he's won. They had a mass scrambler back in October for Halloween. This dude comes in a goddamn lucha mask and wins. Are you kidding me? And then look, you have Grimm's Toy Show. Grimm from Grimm's Toy Show. Listen to me. I've known Grimm my entire run. It's hard to get this dude out of Jersey. So we're bringing him out to PA. We're bringing him out to the 570 for Uncle Massey's birthday. And it's going to be uh interesting is the word I guess you can put scrambler and the it's
He
you're going to get your money's worth.
recently lost his title, Grim.
Yes, listen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on over there. There's a lot of chaos always. One promise you can always get with GTS wrestling is the word chaos.
Dude,
So
that is one of the craziest fan bases I've ever. And when I say crazy, I don't mean that in a negative way at all.
you are telling me.
Bro, I went to one show and I just sat and watched. I just gave you a ride. And
Yeah.
I get messages all the time. They're like, "Are you part of the roster?" I was like, "No, I gave a guy a ride one show." Because they see us together at places, they think I'm a GTS member. I'm like, I'm not a GTS member.
One of my favorite things is people when they're first time appearing on GTS and seeing the aftermath. I like calling it. Like once you appear on GTS and that video airs, boom, here comes the followers. Boom, here comes the random comments, the random DMs, the trolls instantly. There's no like here comes all the YouTube comments about you and it's the random like fan edits and shit. It's insane. There's a fan like there's so many reputations that GTS holds, but there's a lot of times I've seen the countless amount of wrestlers I've seen come to GTS to if you want as the kids like saying boost their clout and get those followers. Simple the boom. Oh, if I appear in like 3 videos and get followers, I'll be over as fuck, brother. Like it's I love it.
He just put out a piece of content that I think is probably my favorite thing he's ever done. Just recently, where he went to the con and essentially apologized to Nia Jax because
Yes, I
he
watched
was
that.
he was doing like back in the day he was playing up that character that people wanted him to be on YouTube, and he said really like
Yes.
hurtful things about Nia and her weight and her appearance, and I guess they had like a Twitter beef, and I guess she was essentially gimmicking it the whole time. Like she wasn't really offended. She was just kind of like battling with
Yeah,
him. And then
gimmicking it. That's
yeah,
what
and
she
then
likes
when
to say now.
yeah, and then when she seen him, she's like, "Dude, I was going along with it." You know what I mean? But like, it was kind of dope for him to walk up and be like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry I said that." That like me saying that and getting the backlash like changed who I am as a person and how I change how I do my content. And things can be hurtful if you say the wrong thing to people, especially female talent.
Yeah, basically, there's been multiple times where cancel culture, before it was even a thing, Twitter has tried to cancel Grimm for being Grimm. He is like,
Yeah,
here's the thing: there's Grimm, there's Dave. There's 2 different human beings.
yeah.
He can play as a character. You ever meet Dave? Huh, trust me, you will.
It was not seeing Grim, it was seeing Dave on camera, and
Yes,
it was very
exactly.
refresh it was a good piece of
You will
content.
see they're not alike whatsoever. But
Yeah,
as yes, it was Grimm being the longer back videos you watch, the more extreme the Grimm character is because it's just how the world was, you know. And so yeah, he was. It was this was like again 2018, and people were just coming at him and like trying to get him and get him and get him and. Yeah, Nia Jax retweeted, and once the WWE superstar acknowledges it all, it's fucking over for you, dude.
mhm,
Like your fan, like you got the big fan base, but WWE. You can't fucking compete with that.
yeah. But it was a good piece of content, so it was I
I loved
very
it.
rare
Yeah,
yeah,
it was good. I like that he was on the same event with her, and it worked out like that.
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a
But
good piece of
yeah,
content.
she tried to play it off like she was working him. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. You know the camera's on. That's why you're saying that shit
Well,
now.
no, she didn't. He kinda had his girl hang
Yeah,
back, and then he's like,
yeah.
"Hey, by the way, this is being recorded. Are you cool if I use this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't care."
They always
But
know when the camera's on.
yeah, if Grimm's around, you probably know there's a camera on. Grimm's character development has definitely been reflective of society. Wait until I start applying social construction to my promo. There you go. I love it.
There you
That's
go.
Precious Ruby Rudo.
Yep,
Who's
precious.
who's wearing your gear? Your Philly
Yes.
Mike DJ gear.
Yes, I was for one month of the I forget what year, but I want to say 2019. I found that I guess I bought it originally as a Halloween costume,
It's like MC
and
Hammer clothes.
yeah, and I was just at like a Spirit Halloween. I was like, yeah, let me grab like I never just buy a costume. I was like buying random shit and putting it together. So I was like, let me do like the fucking old school rapper shit. That's fun. Why not? So I did it, and I liked how like the gold get up look, the parachute pants, whatever they're called, and I was like, I like this. It's cool. It reminded me of like Sabu. Like Sabu kind of had like baggy pants like that. So then I was like, I think it was I forget what show, but they had like a costume battle royal, and I was like,
I think it
bet.
was Pro Wrestling After Dark.
Well, there was that, and then I think that the first ever place I wore was the not the SSW we work for, another SSW in PA, Superstar Wrestling. But they had like a costume battle royal, and I was like, bet I'm just gonna bring this and wear it out. Like I'll have fun. Like Philly Mike character was like a super serious and angry all the fucking time and shit. So I'm like, all right, I want to be something like fun, have fun in a battle royal. Why not? So I wore that out, and I liked how it looked. And then yeah, we did the Electric Halloween with Pro Wrestling After Dark, and I wore that out, and I was like, yeah, that was fun. I came out of the fanny pack. I used to like pull like really long gold chains out of the fanny pack and shit. Like it was fucking great. It was having fun. I did it at Pro Wrestling Explosion in Philly. He ran like a 2-night pop-up Halloween weekend thing at the Fire, which is a really tiny dive bar in Philly, but it has a side with like a small stage where indie like small acts play and shit. So he booked it where you had a 10 by 10 wrestling ring in there. Now, all right, for people who are unfamiliar, a normal wrestling ring on the indies is about 16 by 16, some places 18 by 18, rare, but some places 20 by 20, like the WWE and the big leagues use the 20 by 20. Small fellas like me look ridiculous in a 20 by 20.
Does GCW use a 20?
GCW uses a 16 by 16.
Yeah, I was just say, I think they use
And
16. Yeah.
people can't believe the shit they do in a 16 by 16, which is a normal ring. But I wrestled in 14, but this was a 10 by 10 ring.
I don't know what show. I don't know what this ring size was. The show we did. If Pete's in the ring, yeah, Pete's in the ring. If Pete's in the chat, the first show that me, you, and Brian did commentary on, that ring had to be 10 or 12. It was tiny.
Yeah.
The ring broke during like ring setup, and Eric Pinhead had to put it together and fix it and save the show. But yo, you hit the ropes, took 2 or 3 steps, and you were already into the next set of ropes.
Oh, dude, yeah. With this ring, you were second. You're off the ropes. You're right back at the other ones. Like it was
it was like the micro wrestling rings.
The kid I wrestled, Marcus Schuyler, it was like a Halloween show. So I'm in the MC Philly Mike get up. He's in one of those inflatable fucking T-Rex outfits. And so it's already like that thing's huge. This kid's like
14. Holy shit.
This kid's like 6'2", I want to say, like big motherfucker. In an inflatable T-Rex outfit, and we were wrestling in a 10 by 10 wrestling ring. Nothing can go wrong. And it was fucking awesome the whole time. Like you walked out on the stage and shit like that. But the best part about the show was as you're wrestling, they would have bands playing on the stage. So the stage is right behind you.
Wrestling. I need more music and wrestling collaborations.
The main event act, it was like I think the match was some triple threat. It was like Tony Cini when he was doing his pizza delivery boy gimmick, coming in like acting like he's delivering pizza. They had a werewolf, and I forget what the third was, but they're doing a triple threat, and this band was from fucking Tokyo. Like they booked this band, and they legit were from fucking Tokyo, Japan, spoke no English, and they're rocking the fuck out as this match is going on. And it was one of the cool, like, dude, I wish I was higher for that shit. It was fucking insane. It was insane. It was
I
fucking
watched a
awesome.
match. I watched a match where
One of
they
my
did
favorite visuals.
like a trios tag or whatever, and it was um Hollow Wicked, Ultramanus Black, and I forget who the third one was now. But it was them and the versus the outfielders and somebody else. And Ultramanus's band is set up on the
Yes,
ring, so they
yes.
played him down. And then they're all in the ring, and Ultramanus just like puts his hands up like Kane and just starts attacking, and like they all start fighting, and the
I
band just
love it.
it
I
was like
love it.
it was so much fun.
Hell
That is
yeah.
actually on an LVAC show on IWTV. Go
Yes.
check that out. It was Avery Goods' final match
I
at a
always mean to
brewery.
make it out to one of those shows. I'm usually somewhere else or something's
Booked. I'm always booked when they're
dude,
doing it.
every time I see their shows, like the pictures and videos after, they look like so much fun. And
Yeah, they
that's
put on good. They
dude,
got up, and there's always someone from TV always hanging out there.
right?
If
Yeah.
Cassidy's not there, then I think Eddie Kingston was at the last one.
Yep.
Um,
They
just
all got
people
good
who,
friends, man. Good
yeah,
friends. It's
they
all
all
about
met
who
up
you know.
like
Who
they
you
met
know.
somewhere.
Dude, doesn't matter what you do in wrestling. It's about who you know. Come
Absolutely.
on
Well,
now.
let's rewind here. How did you get into
Mhm.
this insane thing called professional wrestling?
How did I get into it? Like as a
Yeah,
fan or
as
just
a fan. Well,
wrestling?
as a fan, then transformed into a talent.
So like, all right, wrestling didn't hook me immediately. Like most people, you ask a wrestling fan, they're like, the first time I seen it, bam, hooked. Like not right away. Like my cousin was really into wrestling, and he had all the toys and video games and shit like that. And I was like, it was cool, but it was like whatever. I liked playing with the toys because they were action figures essentially. I liked action figures, whatever. I was a boy growing up, but wrestling didn't hook me. Um, One of the key memories I have, and it's such a weird memory that's locked into my brain, and I don't know why I love telling the story. But I was over a friend's house and we were all playing like one of the SmackDown games, like Here Comes the Pain, some shit like that. Shut Your Mouth, one of them. And before I was really into wrestling, we were playing like a 6-man match, and they were like, "You gotta play," I was like, "All right, bet." And for some reason, I picked Scotty Too Hottie, and I was like, "This dude sounds fucking awesome." Like if I was a wrestler, I'd want my name to be Scotty Too Hottie, because this why wouldn't it? Like right away, you're telling me what you're about. Like you're the man. So I was like, all right, bet. And they're like, yeah, his finisher's like the worm. And I was like, what? Like, so I didn't know what was going on. But that's like a key memory that's locked in my brain. And like the one time Scotty Too Hottie came to GCW and wrestled Janela and like did that whole thing, dude, it was one of the coolest fucking things I ever got to be a part of and just sit
You're
there
like,
and
you got
watch.
me
I
into
was like,
wrestling.
yeah, I was like, dude, like that's like holy shit. And but the memory that I say, like the day I fell in love with wrestling, which is really weird, is the day Eddie Guerrero died. And it was because like growing up, it was like I watched wrestling here and there, with my cousin. I believed it was real as a kid.
Mhm.
But then, I always had those older cousins. Yeah, it's fake. Why are you watching that fake shit? Blah 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 blah. So more and more, I'm like, even as a kid, trying to decipher how the fuck is this fake? No, there's no fucking way. But then, like, I started to figure it out, and then as I'm getting older, I'm like, all right, yeah, obviously this shit's fucking fake.
Mhm.
But they're how are they perfectly jumping over each other? But so then I remember just chilling and on the news, wrestler Eddie Guerrero dies. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is on the news. This isn't fake. This isn't part of the show. Holy shit. Like, this dude fucking died. And then they had Raw, and everybody's out there crying. And it was the first time I was like, holy shit. Like,
It became real.
whoa. Yeah, wrestling was real. And I was like, whoa. And, I say like the reason that was the day I fell in love with wrestling was because I said that was the day I wanted to become a wrestler. Um, because growing up, I was very into acting and like I didn't do anything like acting. I was never like acting in school, but I just loved the idea of movies and shows and directing and shit like that. So then I always say I was one of those rare, like people stopped loving wrestling and grew out of wrestling when they found out it was fake. I started loving it more. I was
Mhm.
like, hold up. So they're actors and they're doing this shit and it's cool. Like they're actors that get cool ass entrances and fucking pyro and lights and like what they do all this shit and they're just like they're working together. This is like that's fucking cool. Like what I want to do that. That's fucking I want to do that. And so that was like the connection. I was like, okay, this is real. All right, they're like, all right. And I was a hardcore WWE kid, and then TNA started popping off, so I became like a TNA. I was for a few years, I was more about TNA. I was like, this is cool, man. This is like a little edgier. And then I started going to indie shows and shit like that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is like right up in my face. This is fucking cool. This is awesome. And just from there, it blew off. You know, it fucking took off. Indie shows were the way to go. You know, like I kind of stopped going to more of the bigger shows and it was just cool developing relationships, you know, with people, whether it's fans or wrestlers. I know people in wrestling that we like we're wrestlers now. We're both fucking doing shit, but we were just going to shows together at the ECW arena, showing up to House of Hardcore, just hanging out. Now we're both fucking wrestle. Like he got to wrestle in the fucking ECW arena. Like that's
Yeah.
fucking insane to me. Like that
Mhm.
that's that I fucking teared up. Like dude, I get emotional as fuck with wrestling. I like wrestling makes me cry way more than I like to admit. I'll tell you that right now.
Same.
Like that,
Same.
I again that word passionate.
Bro,
Uh,
I sometimes get that way, like, when like, if you know and it could be just in an indie show, like, you just know, like, on a car ride up, how, like, sitting talking to you or Riley, that, like, "Yo, this means something like because we have those conversations before the show, it's like,
mm-hmm.
Today means something to me because this is a moment, like, this today is that it's gonna be special."
Yep.
Um, and it's just like and then we go to the show and then I know behind the curtain your mind state going into it and then I see you hit the curtain and you can physically see that on you and then
Yep.
it's more than just a match or performance like this means something to you and then you go out and kill it and the crowd reacts to it and then you're sitting there I'm like you know what I mean like
That's what, dude. I love it. I say it all the time. People like I know way
Hawthorne
too many.
Hawthorne and Ace Austin almost got me.
Yo, you're telling me, dude, he did get me.
Yeah, I was on
I went up to
commentary
that
trying to keep
motherfucker
it
crying at
together.
the end of the night, dude.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, dude, I love watching. Like, there's too many people that go to indie shows and like don't get booked on the show last minute. And they're all sour. They're hanging out all like fucking down. Like, shut the fuck up. Sit down. I bet you got like 7 fucking friends on this show. Sit down, cheer for them, enjoy them, and like watch what they're doing and watch what
Yep.
they're doing right and wrong and fucking I love that shit, dude.
I had to learn that. I had to learn
I
that.
love going to shows and just watching my friends fucking kill it.
Mhm.
And dude, ask people if you don't kill it, if you shit the bed, I'll fucking tell you, dude. My boy fucking a few weeks ago, he fucking walked out the curtain wearing some crazy ass fucking gear. And I'm like, what dude? I go up to him at the end of the night. I'm like, bro, I love you to death, but what the fuck was that? Don't ever wear that shit out there again, dude. Like, and they like you just need to be real with people, man. That's how everybody gets better in this shit. You can't front with people. You can't fucking lie to people or bullshit people. Somebody had a bad match, you fucking tell them, dude. If they had a good match, you fucking tell them. It's that simple.
Yeah. I had people tell me sometimes when I was doing things on commentary that wasn't good, and they're like, "Yo, you have to adjust that." And I was like, "Why?" They're like,
And
"'Cause you just called it a spot." And I went, "Oops."
yeah, there's
I did
stuff
that
like
once, but
that. Like somebody sent me a promo the other day, and they're like asking me how it was. I was like, it's good, but you're using too many insider terms.
yeah,
Like
I was
it
doing that
depends.
on commentary for a little bit.
It's it depends where you're at. Like if there's some feds that are like all fucking, oh yeah, we have smart marky fucking crowd. Yeah, whatever. They pop for that shit. But
Mhm.
if it's a fan base that ain't is not gonna understand what the fuck you're talking about, then yeah. But
Yeah. So how did you transition then from a fan to finding your first goal and getting into professional wrestling?
so basically, fucking, I started going to indie shows more and more, and then that was the thing. Like, I felt like I was robbed a lot of the whole, like, even though I am a fucking backyarder, I feel like I could have been yarding much younger. And
You're
so I
upset,
was
upset you
I was
couldn't yard
robbed
it
of
along
that
your
growing up, knowing backyarders and fucking going to all these like learning how to just wrestle on my own kind of thing. So for me, it was like I grew up in Philly, and anytime I would look up wrestling schools and shit, most of them were in Jersey or whatever, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like I can't get to that. Um, so then I started going to
and it's crazy because
Chikara
it's literally
shows.
right over the bridge, and there's, like, 5 schools.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane, and
crazy.
it's like there were a lot then, but now it's now it's insane, dude. Everybody and their grandma has a fucking school open. Okay, if you know about a warehouse, you probably have a wrestling school in New Jersey.
There's, like,
Um,
5 of the top wrestling schools within, like, 30 miles of each other in Jersey.
it's dude, it's nuts. It's too easy to do professional wrestling in Jersey. I always say like I don't find it a flex that if you're booked every single weekend, if every single one of your listings is New Jersey.
Dude,
That's like
I'm booked every weekend, and I'm
it,
from Pennsylvania, and 90% of my bookings are
like I
Jersey.
tell people like I'm sorry, like there's having a lot of bookings that are good and there's just having a lot of bookings. And New Jersey feds, there's about at least 6 of them running every Saturday. So if you're
And I'm
booked in
very
New
fortunate that
Jersey,
I feel like
that's not much of a
I'm
flex. That's
in the
kind
good
of
gym.
easy.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the good ones in Jersey.
Yeah, so I found out about Chikara. I started going to Chikara shows, and they were right down from where I fucking grew up, right down the street from where I grew up. Right off Tarsdale Ave. I was like, all right, bet this is fucking close as shit. And I started going couple shows, and then they were putting over the training and all that, and they had like a free workshop. It was like I was like, holy shit, a free workshop! Yeah, come one day, completely free. Learn how to bump, learn how to run the ropes, do all this shit, chain wrestle. I'm like, holy fuck, I can finally do it. I can get in the ring. I went and did it. Absolutely loved it. Signed up for the school. At the same time,
Who was the head trainer at that time?
at the time it was Mike Quackenbush, and Ophidian. They
Okay.
were the two that they were the two that trained me. And fucking so at the same time, I knew a few friends that started popping up on GTS wrestling. I watched Grimm's toy show during for a few years during that time, and then he got a ring in his backyard, and like I knew like I had a few friends that popped up in there and started doing shit and learning how to bump, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Now I know like people at backyard. I can like get on there. So showed up, started doing shit. It's hilarious if you find my first couple GTS stuff because I don't know anything. I knew how to bump, and that was literally it. Other than that, I couldn't hit the ropes. I couldn't do anything. I was dog shit. And so bad to the fact that Grimm uses me as an example of somebody like somebody who's evolved or whatever. Um, so I realized how bad I was. I would watch my shit back. I'm like, I do not look cool. I look like a fucking asshole. Um, so then I started like, I was like, you know what? Let me just stay away from GTS for a while and just really focus on the training. I'll just boom, pump this out. Like, so I think it was about 6 or 7 months. I just was at the Wrestle Factory doing shit, and uh, way better. Like, I don't know how, like, got just learned a lot more in that time span.
Who was all
And I
part
was,
of your training and classes at Monster Factory when you were there?
uh, trying to remember exactly. The key people that were in my class were Marcus Schuyler, the Bristol Lion that I mentioned earlier, Devontes, who is another one who's booked very heavily in the scene
I
now.
fucking love
I
Devon.
dude,
I
I
love
will
Marcus Scalar too. Both of them are my
I
favorite.
will yes, exactly. I love them both to death. I will always put fucking Devontes over to somebody. He is one of my top guys. Like I always have friends that like book shows, whatever. They'll message me, yo,
If I had
I
the
need
power of bees
I
to
need a
book
big
a wrestling
guy.
company, Devontae would be probably my champion.
They're like, I need a big guy. I'm like, he's not tall. He's not tall at all, but he's solid.
And he looks awesome.
Devontes, baby. Yeah,
He has a good mean look, the
dude, and
mouthpiece,
he's
the
one of the
mohawk.
exactly. He's one of those guys like when fucking I don't think he had the mohawk at the time or the beard, but when like day one we started training together, and he had all the tattoos, and like he was still like he wasn't as built as he is now, but he was still built. But dude, just his first bump, we're like, all right, now we know who the fucking standout in the class is. Like this dude, obviously. Um,
We're both
So
Washington fans, and at Avery Good's last show, they like people didn't know that we were coming, so me and Brian went and we're like first row. So me and Brian are literally a barricade, so they could do the camera work. Like we were kind of like a
yeah.
blockade, so they could do camera. And Devontae comes out. I'm like, Devontae loves the Philadelphia Eagles, and he just turns and goes, "Fuck you."
Dude, but there was a couple people in my class that like were so good and like had so much potential, but they just didn't stick with it. Like they were just kind of like getting the experience to just like say they did it, like
Were you
learn it.
there when Mikowski was there, or was he later?
Yeah, Mikowski was there, but we weren't in the same class. Like I did the tier system where it was
Mhm.
like the best way to compare is like there's like full time and where you're there all throughout the week and shit. And there's like part time. I only went on the weekends. So
Mm.
I would go and just train with Quack or Ophidian on the weekends. And I never like there would be a few seminars and workshops and shit that I would show up to during the week, but not I wasn't a full-time student, as you can say.
Yeah.
But I the best way I could say it is I learned the basics. I learned what I felt that I needed to learn there, and then I started doing a lot of seminars, and I would go to like Tremont School here and there, and just GTS. We started doing more training and shit like that. Like GTS got bigger over time, and it was just I never wanted to stay in one place, and I'm real big on that belief that no wrestler should stay in the same place or same training facility for longer than I'd like to say 6 months. 6 months to like like couple months span, but it maybe even a year or so. But a year is a lot of time in wrestling. A year is like fucking 3 years. With how fast this business moves, but it's
You know who's a
like
good example of that? Quay. Quay has been
yes,
through Chikara. He's been through the
yes,
dungeon. He's been through Dojo now. I think he listed off like two other Sanctuary
and
and another
he's
place
another
he went.
one. He's
And
another one
you
that
can tell his evolve and how he's so well rounded because he's learned from so many different people.
dude, I've had one of my best wrestling matches ever with Matt Quay. Like
Yeah.
he's another one that I'll always put over to people. Like I need somebody. I'm like, dude, Matt Quay. Matt Quay will be on. I say it all the time. Every time I see him in a goddamn show, Matt Quay will be on TV within 2 years, and people are going to be very upset when they didn't book him because he's going to be killing it.
Or put
The
him over
dude
as
gets it.
champion.
The dude gets it, bro. He gets it, and that's what you need to know in wrestling. You just need to be able to get it.
Yeah, he's very,
As
very good.
dumb as that sounds. But yeah, fucking so nobody there it's a proven track record that people that stay in one place for so long, they don't get that right. They either get complacent and they stay and content and they're just stuck there, or they all wrestle the fucking same, dude. I hate that shit. I hate when I see wrestlers come from school, and they all wrestle exactly the same. Like that's not what wrestling is. Every single one of us that do this is supposed to be unique. We're in some sort of way. Even if we're copying or parody or fucking tribute act to something, we all need to be unique in some sort of fucking way. Like I get like there's a lot of people that put over the whole too many wrestlers wear shirts when they wrestle and shit like that. I get that.
I'd be a shirt
But
wrestler.
I get that, but if we were at the same time we were all shirtless, the fuck would be cool about it? Then we'd be like some weird fetish to
Dude,
me.
that's
Like,
why that's why I love Kevin Owens, man. He just looks different than everybody else.
yeah. Oh yeah, dude. My
And he's
favorite
good.
was I watched Kevin Owens' NXT debut with a buddy of mine who doesn't watch wrestling at all, and he like walks out, and the crowd's going fucking nuts and shit, and my buddy's just like, he's a fucking dude. He's just a fucking dude. Like,
He's
and
wearing
like,
basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
and I was like, I was a little heavier set at the time, and my buddy's like, I feel like that'd be you if you wrestled. He's like that's you in fucking 10 years. Get the like this dude. And then the best part was like him getting in the ring and absolutely murdering fucking CJ Parker. And he fucking like he
He won
killed
him
it.
over.
Dude, it was one of the best debut matches you can have in NXT. And my buddy was like, all right, dude, that guy can move. Like he can go. I'm like, exactly. Like that. I love that shit.
Yeah, yeah. You guys just go. So he wins people over. That's what's beautiful
Yep.
about him and like Sammy and people like that. It's just like you look at them like, what makes you different? And then you just watch them work and like, oh, that's what makes you different.
Dude, exactly. Like everybody is fucking unique and different.
Yeah. So yeah, you Jakar, then you start going GTS. What are some of your favorite stories or memories in your years of wrestling, like maybe a match you had or a behind the scenes story that you can tell without getting people incriminated for crimes?
um, I don't know. Try to this. Been through a lot of interesting and dumb fucking situations. That's for sure.
While you're thinking, I'll segue to this. So
Yeah,
another thing that makes me
I'll
very
come to
excited,
something.
that makes me excited for you, and Rosh Uncle Masty kind of alluded to it earlier on. You're the gateway drug of professional and independent wrestling.
Yes,
Because
yes,
you'll message some one of us and be like, "Yo, I need a you guys want to go a car ride up?" And essentially, it's you need a ride, but you're getting a car full of people to go somewhere. But
yep,
it sounds, when you say it, it sounds like I don't have a ride and I'm being selfish. I need you to take me. But your
yes,
mind state is no, no, no. I do need a ride there, but if I can bring a carload of people, I'm gonna put everyone in that car over to where I'm going and try to get you guys to work. And nine
exactly,
times out of 10, if you go for that car ride, even if you don't get booked, you're going to make good connections, you're going to make good friends, and you're going to be exposed to a new market. And I've seen you do that for myself. You've done it for Rosh. You've done it for Hawthorne. Like, if Philly Mike, look at the camera, if Philly Mike comes to you and says, "Do you want to get in the car and go somewhere for this weekend for wrestling?" Go. You will have a blast.
yeah. I yeah. It's you're gonna get something out of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, but so yes, it's fucking part of me's an asshole that doesn't drive and doesn't have his license or a fucking car. But exactly like you said, I wouldn't hit up people that I know wouldn't benefit from the situation. Like
Yeah.
when I know you're coming, you're driving me somewhere, I hit up the promoter. I'm like, "Yo, bro, what's the commentary situation?" Like I'm trying to get you work before we even get there. And even if it doesn't work out, 90% of the time it works out. It's very rare it doesn't. Like honestly.
Well, even with the
Uh
Grim Show, I literally just set my GoPro up and I gave him another angle. I don't think he ever used any of the footage, but
yeah.
he seemed very appreciative that I walked in with a camera and I was just trying anything to participate, you know?
And I was checking the other day on your channel. It's one of your like most viewed video is something from that show. Like
Yeah,
it
Riley beating the shit out of you in the corner.
yeah, like it helps it's a fucking 20 something second clip, but it
Mhm.
boosts like thousands of views on your channel. It's
Yeah.
simply because it was GTS wrestling.
Mhm.
And it's I can't stress enough the power of GTS to people. Like one of the craziest things I ever saw was like TikTok was first starting to pop off and shit like that. And at the time I had a custom wrestling theme. I don't really use it anymore, but it just doesn't fit what I'm doing right now. Um, but I had a custom entrance theme, and it was on TikTok. The sound was on TikTok, and I was tagged in a video, and it was these two little brothers wrestling each other in their living room, like as to the sound of the Philly Mike song, and they're GTS fans, but they're from fucking Pakistan. Like it was two little boys, little brothers wrestling each other in Pakistan, and it was just crazy. Like the GTS fan base is worldwide. I knew that. I have fans in UK, Europe, all this shit. It sounds fucking made up and bullshit, like at the level I'm at, but it's insane.
Mhm.
But that was the craziest video I got to see where I'm like, holy shit, like these kids know who Philly Mike is. I'm like, fucking, it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. And
You have a kid in Pakistan coloring his one tooth in so it looks like
yeah,
it's missing and
yeah.
flipping everybody off.
Yep. And like, dude, there's been times like I'm out in public, just somewhere, not wrestling related, and are you Philly Mike? I've been walking home from fucking work. Are
I've seen it happen.
guys have pulled over and said, "Yo, you Philly Mike?" Like it's insane. It's insane. They're
My favorite wrestling story is me and you in a gas station, and this cop walks in.
yes,
This is great.
yes,
Cop walks in, and
wearing this fucking
shaved
jacket
head.
right
He's
here,
wearing this
brother.
hoodie, and this cop walks in, and he kind of stands by us. No offense, Mike reeks like weed.
Oh yeah,
And the cop walks
always,
in, and he looks at me, and he looks at Philly Mike, and he looks at him again. He goes, "Yo," we just look at him. He goes, "MDK all day, motherfucker." And I was just like,
dude.
I was like, "What?" I lit the gas. I was like, "This cop's gang affiliated."
I just stood there and looked at him. I was like, no fucking way this just happened, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
and we talked wrestling forever with this cop. It
dude,
was
it's
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
And my favorite is Like I used to work at a gas station, like a 7-Eleven, just working the fucking cashier spot, whatever. But there's been times where people came in and have recognized me, thought they recognized me, and like would leave and come back and be like, "Yo, I know where I've seen you from." But like I used to wear like GCW shirts or whatever there, and a lot of people come in, and especially after the Cardona and Moxley when they came in and shit, brought a whole new fan base to the product.
Hmm.
Um, they'd be like, "Yo, I seen that shit. I watched the video. I love that shit. Fucking Cardona and Moxley, Gage, all that." And I'm not one to be like, "Hey, I was fucking ringside for that shit." But like, it's just funny that like some people would be like, "Oh, I think I recognize you somewhere," or some people don't understand that I was there at all, or they do see. Like, it's just funny.
We
Like,
met you
so
backstage at Outbreak, and then the week after Outbreak, Brian ordered the clusterfuck battle royal, and he's like, "Dude, Philly Mike's catching people!" Like,
yeah,
and I was like, "What?"
yeah,
And then we went back and watched. We're like, "Holy
yeah,
shit, there he is!"
dude, it's fucking it. The amount of lives I have potentially saved at GCW is endless. My favorite, like, I don't know what it is, dude, about wrestlers. Like, we'll do a lot of shit, but sometimes some wrestlers, man, when it comes to catching a dive, they're fucking pussies. They're just scared. They're like, like fucking, oh no, I'm gonna get hurt, bro. But you'll fucking do something off the top rope, like
Yeah.
later in the match. And I take pride in catching people in dives. I love that shit, dude. Like, why fucking just hug those motherfuckers when they come at you, bro? It's not hard. It's really
Mm.
not. Like, you might get kicked in the head. Yeah, that sucks. But like, catch that motherfucker, dude. They're trusting you. The key word in wrestling is trust. If you can't get in there and trust somebody when you're diving out of a goddamn ring, and dude, you'll be lucky if you're working an indie show with a ring with floor mats, like something that's hard. It's going to be a hard ass floor. But like seriously. So I like started really getting in there and shit like that. There'd be a couple of us, but like I made it my like point to get in there and like help with the death matches. Like with sometimes like people don't realize the little shit that like when light tubes are broken, you need to crush them up, get them out the ring, because that shit can fucking gut you. And fucking um what you call it
Or stepping
so
on the ends or whatever. I
yeah,
learned that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yep. There's just little things. Um, so catching the dives and all that. One of my favorite times was down in Dallas. It was like a scramble match. There was like 7 motherfuckers in the match, but Nick Wayne did like a 630 or whatever he did to the outside. And I, even though it was a scramble with like 6 guys catching him, I made sure to get in there and fucking help. And I'm dead center in the middle and I eat all of it. I just fucking catch him. We go down. This motherfucker runs up to me later in the night. He's like, "Philly Mike, dude." He's like, "I just want to thank you so much." He's like, "I watched that." He's seen the GIF on fucking Twitter. He's like, "I seen the GIF." He's like, "You fucking took all that." Here, this kid was terrified to do the spot. And he's like, "I don't trust." Like he was nervous doing it to the floor. And all these motherfuckers are like, "We got you, we got you, we got you." Dude,
They
you watch
bailed.
this shit back. If I wasn't there, he would have went right to the fucking floor. Like
Yeah.
that's what I don't get about wrestlers. Like
I
Nick,
watched a show one time where a guy legit that he came through for a suicide dive, and the guy literally and skeeted
dude,
at the last second. Dude hit his head on the concrete, was blood everywhere.
that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I watched fucking Drew Blood smack his head on the fucking concrete and it just pour out. Like that shit's
Mm-hmm.
fucking
Because the
what
guy
the
just
fuck?
bailed on the last spot.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what the
because he
fuck?
freaked out. He got scared.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had like
Well,
one time.
we are getting close to the hour mark, so I don't want to go
Oh
super
yeah.
late. Plus, I don't want to take time away from the next guest. But
Oh no, screw
um,
her, bro. Let's take her time. Let's just leave. Let's just
but
inch over into that time. Fuck her.
since you've been dealing with this injury, and like I said, we have the links below. How has the reception been for people, and how has people like the support been for people still like reaching out to you and trying to do what they can to help?
Big time, like big, like it's been insane, honestly. Like it was funny, but with the GTS fan base, because they when I put it out there about the knee injury, they knew right away. They're like, "Oh, it's from that match that you had with him in 2018." Like they pinpointed it right away, and so that's just been insane. Obviously, they're the reception from a GTS fan base is always insane, but just everybody like wrestlers reaching out and shit like that, like wrestlers hit me up for merch, and just some people sent me money just to fucking send me money and just like, "Yo, just keep this, help out." Like it's been like endless support. And yeah, like you mentioned earlier when we opened the show, we have that benefit show this weekend.
Mhm.
Night of Steel, High Ground Pro Wrestling's first event. It's a benefit show for Adina Steele and Philly Mike Swanson. And there's going to be a good amount of matches, a lot of wrestling matches. What's an indie show without a lot of wrestling matches? So, yeah, it's going to be a night interesting. There's drinking from what I've never been to the Falcons Nest, but from what
There's
I
a
hear,
bar.
there is a bar. So, what more can you ask for? It doesn't matter the
And they
price of
serve Jenny
admission
cream
after
ales.
that. Oh wow.
I love that beer.
It doesn't matter the price of admission after that. They have a bar in pro wrestling. There endless amounts of opportunities from there. You can heckle, you can yell. Please come to the benefit show and heckle all of these pro wrestlers. They need it. They
Yeah.
need some heckling in their lives.
How has
So
it been for you to have to sit back and then play that role of watching instead of being a part of it?
it's right now. I keep telling people like that's a lot of people have been asking me that, and right now I'm chilling. I guess you could say like I'm definitely the ideas are flowing like crazy, like as far as what I want to do for when I come back, but I haven't gotten to that like point where I'm itching like I want to get in there, I want to wrestle. I wish I was wrestling. Like right now I'm enjoying sitting back and watching, like I said, my friends do shit and just other people do shit, and like more people are getting to come to me with ideas and like all this shit, and I'm get like helping with feedback and whatnot, and I enjoy that. I like I always say I come up with way better ideas for my friends than I do myself. My ideas for myself suck, bro. Most of my cool ideas have came from other people. But
Yeah.
so it's just been cool. Like I've been to some very good indie shows since the injury, and I've been to some of the worst I've ever attended. And I get there, and there's been a few times where I've gotten genuinely fucking mad because there shouldn't like there's just some things that shouldn't be bad that are like
Well, at a wrestling show, when you're back behind the curtain the entire time, like you're working on your match and figuring out your stuff for your match and
exactly
don't see 90% of the show. And then you hit
exactly.
the curtain, you're like, why is the crowd dead? And you're like,
So
and if you,
I'm kind of back in fan mode right now. Like I'm going there and like observing everything and watching people, and a lot, like I said, people have been coming up to me asking, "Yo, what's the deal? Like, how was my match and shit like that?" And I've been telling plenty of my fucking peeps, I'm like, "Yo, that was shit, bro. It was garbage. It was what the fuck was that? What was that finish? That finish fell flat. Like what? Like, and some people I like seeing how people take it, because some people will take it like, what the fuck, dude? Like I killed it. If you think you killed it, you probably didn't. I have a big thing, and it sounds dumb, but if you think you're a good pro wrestler, you're probably not. I All the good pro wrestlers I know don't think they're good. And that's part of the learning of wrestling. You're always learning, you're constantly learning, you're constantly filling your brain with new shit to adapt. And wrestling's always changing, so do you need to be too.
being humble is a
Um
big thing.
dude, being humble, just like, and just having your finger on the pulse with things and being open-minded. And I've known wrestlers that fucking 20 years I've been in this business, but you've been the same fucking thing for 20 years, and that's why you're right here.
Mhm.
And I also like, dude, another big thing. If you have to tell me how many years you've been wrestling, I kind of already like check you out of my brain. You're kind of already like, like I should know you've been wrestling 20 years. That should be an accomplishment. I should know you've been wrestling 20 years. You shouldn't have to tell me, because if you've been wrestling 20 years and I it's like everybody who watches wrestling every goddamn weekend have never fucking heard of you. That's what have you been doing for 20 years?
You're
What
not
the fuck?
wrong.
Dude, what have you been doing for 20 fucking years that none of us have ever heard of you? So
Mhm.
that's a big thing with me. Like it's
Getting outside.
crazy.
Well, a lot of people get stuck in that 50, like that 20-mile radius bubble, you know?
Yeah, it's exactly. And like I said with the whole Jersey thing, like, bro, if you're booked every single weekend and every single date is somewhere within like driving distance in Jersey, that's not a flex. You just
Mhm.
you're cool with the promoter like
Dude,
that. That's
I'm
all.
telling you right now, just from an outside experience, dude, the Jersey scene is hungry for new faces. That's why do you think there's carfuls of PA people coming to Jersey
at
every weekend?
at the same time, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like PA products at least have like an idea for what they want out of their vision. Like they have visions.
And the good
He,
Jersey people were looking
Jersey,
at going, You should come to PA.
Jersey's booking wrestling for the sake of booking wrestling, bro. They
Yeah.
don't have I haven't seen one thing lately that had some sort of fucking unique vision or like anything different. Like it's
You know what the
just
sad thing is? A lot of times there like I said, I'm very fortunate to be part of good wrestling in Jersey, but every single time you see wrestling coming out of Jersey, it's almost always a negative. And we all
yeah.
know who I'm talking about. It's
Yep.
like, oh, here's another Jersey promotion where the cops had to get involved because people were trying to fight the guy who didn't pay him at the end of the night. It's like
Yeah.
that's what you're flexing about Jersey, like that.
Dude.
That doesn't make your
At
scene look good.
at that point it's just a rib on themselves and like, they're all marks for themselves at that point. Honestly,
And it's
like
just
that's
it's a bad
that's
look.
that's the big issue. They do everything to pop the boys instead of worrying about putting butts in seats. If your
Mhm.
number one fucking priority is not putting fucking new fans in your seats every month, what are you doing this for?
Yeah.
Fuck your internet shit and your fucking, oh man, we're buddies again. Now we're not buddies again, dude. Go fuck off. All right. Like, you know what that tells me? Nobody paid attention to you in high school. Nobody paid attention to you in high school. And now the internet is like a popping thing. And you found a community within wrestling because that's easy. And you feel welcomed. Oh, you're a promoter. So now you have some sort of power and say, no, dude, you're still a fucking loser. Come on, bro. Like you're oh, you got some money. Oh man, let's kiss up to you.
Yeah.
They're in love with themselves. They love all the attention. I
All
love
right.
the attention, but for the
Before we
sake of pro wrestling,
before
brother.
we get unbooked, let's end this one. Philly Mike, I love you, brother. Thank you so much. You're gonna see
Yes,
more Philly Mike now that he
yes,
actually finally set the microphone up on hopefully joining us
yes.
on Thursdays and
It was
Fridays
a
with me
lot
and
easier
BAE.
than I expected.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I did it.
I seen the Snapchats of you like listening to your own voice in your head, and you're like,
La 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 la
oh.
la.
But yeah, thank you, Mike, for hanging out and joining. We're gonna
Yes.
take like a quick break here, and we'll be back at 5 o'clock with our part two,
Oh
episode
no.
27
I
with
wonder who.
Riley Crow.
Holy shit! No way. You were able to book Riley Crow?
Yeah,
No way.
bro,
Oh my god.
it was not easy. You know what I
I
mean?
ca-
I had to pull strings. I had to open up the checkbook. You know.
damn. I was surprised she didn't no sell your DMs, man. Oh man, she's a diva. She's
Yeah,
a diva. She's a strange bird, you know.
strange.
She's a strange bird.
Shut up, D.
But
All right,
yes, this was fun. We will do it again.
I'm
We
gonna
will
make her do
talk.
the waving inflatable arm two men dance.
Oh man. Oh, here we go. Yes. Yes, make her do it.
uh, what? It gets better than Mike. That's right.
Oh wow,
Yeah, look at
yes.
Alex.
Jesus
Alex is a
Christ.
Riley Mock.
Look.
Dudes at
Yeah.
ringside said a great interview. Thank you guys so much. Please,
Thank
once
you
again,
guys.
links below to support Philly Mike. He's got t-shirts, 8x10s,
Yes.
lighters. I
Yes.
may use this lighter every single
Yes, there
time
it is.
I smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, guys,
Uh,
I have lighters and t-shirts. If you don't like the stuff you see online, just hit me up, bro. I got t-shirts. I'll ship them right out to you.
yeah.
It's cool, man. Only $25. We got this. I got plenty
Support
of
this
them.
guy. He'll do
Thank you.
cameos. He'll send you birthday card readings. He'll do anything you
Yeah.
need. Yeah.
Yeah, I will book me in a cameo this week, especially because I'll make it a point to send you insult and make fun of you that your team is not in the playoffs and mine is.
There you
So
go.
that'll not even the playoffs, the Super Bowl, motherfuckers. Yeah. So
That
if
should
you
be a
if
bit. Pay you $10 for, and don't go through Cameo. Just private DM you, and then you'll make
yes,
fun of them.
private
Yeah.
DM me $10 so they don't take any money from me. Because screw that. They take a percentage, guys.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Little known fact, everything they take a percentage. So just I got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Hit me up, guys. Send
Yeah,
me
yeah.
the money directly, and I will send you. I got a lot of free time, guys, and I got this cool microphone set up now, so I'll send you whatever.
Yeah, and also if you want to book Mike on your own podcast, hit him up. He's got, like I said,
Yes,
he's trying to get his name out there, trying to stay in the
yes,
scene. Follow him on all social media
yep,
and show this guy some love. Thank you so
yes.
much once again, Mike.
Gracias.
We'll see you very, very soon. I see you all
Yes,
the time. I feel like we're like
yes,
roommates
yes.
now.
I'll be seeing you Saturday at High
Yeah.
Ground Pro Wrestling's first ever event, Night of Steel, a benefit for Adina Steel and Philly Mike Swanson. There it is, right there. Flash. Look at that. It's at the
Nailed it.
Falcon's Nest, guys. I heard it's pretty cool. Come
It
check
is
it
a
out.
dope venue. Very, very dope venue. Me
Let's
and
do it.
myself, BP, will be on commentary. It'd be a great time. Come on out if you can. If you can't, like I said, just hit them up on social media. Show some love. Leave those comments and likes. And
Yeah,
here's some
hop
Billy
in my
Trey.
DMs.
We're out of here.